We got the business line.
Do
Do you want
you
to get it?
yeah, see, no, you get it.
Okay. Blue 7.
Hey everybody, it's Alan and Victoria from Blue 7 Content, and today we want to talk to you a little bit about the process of working with us, because we get a lot of inquiries and clients from kind of all over, and we work directly with law firms, and we work with a lot of legal marketing agencies, which I don't think we anticipated when we started this business. I
No.
think Victoria and I thought we would just be working with law firms direct. Turns out there's a big need for scaling content within the SEO agencies from a group that actually knows how to do it because, we're legal focused. So Victoria, when someone calls us, as you see, they just called us, that's kind of interesting because we answer. So talk about that first process, first few steps.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is this was like 2 weeks ago, I think, and one of our clients called and I just said like Blue 7 and he thought it was an automated like messaging. And he's like, hello, hello. And I'm like, Blue 7, like just because we're used
Yep.
to getting some spam calls too. But we get a lot of calls where we make sure to answer them personally, and I think that's really meaningful for our clients. There has been countless amount of times where there has been an emergency issue or they need a rush order. And email's great, but you can't tell when an email is being read or you don't know what's going to happen when it's received. So to get a call and just be like, hey, rush order, can you do it? It's just really easy and transparent. And it allows for an authentic conversation. So
Yeah.
first and foremost, that's that. And I think that really goes to whenever if you go onto our website and you fill out our contact us form, or you've reached out to us on LinkedIn or via email, we automatically ask for a calendar. Like, what is your
Yeah.
calendar?
We get
Tell
it.
us.
We get it
ta-
immediately. You and I get it, the leads, wherever they're
Yes.
coming from. And we both hit each other up. If you get it first, you send it to me. If I get it first, I send
Yep.
it to you. And within a few minutes, we're already responding back and looking at our calendars to set a time up. And sometimes when we answer that phone, like you said, they're shocked we answered. Like when I answer
Yep.
sometimes, it's like, you're the first. I've called 4 companies. You're the only one that's answered. I'm like, well,
Yep.
then that's why you hire us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, exactly. So after we set up that initial meeting, it's either going to be on whatever platform that they have, right? Zoom, Teams, Google Meets. We like Google Meets. We find it to be really universal.
Yeah.
Teams to me is the least universal. Zoom, I feel is like a fancy paywall, and then Google Meets, I feel is just really universal.
And we're in the Google
So
ecosystem. So,
in that too. But yeah, so once we get that initial meeting set up, you're gonna get me and Alan. Like you're just gonna get us both in the room with you.
mhm.
And the reason for that is we want to know as much information up front. We are obviously the owners and co-founders of this company, and we want to make sure that you are feeling that like you're not talking to another salesperson. You're
Yeah.
not talking to um someone who isn't articulate in this world or someone who is just trying to gather information
Someone's
to
trying to get
then
your credit card
market it.
number.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And I want to be cautious in that because, in saying that because I know there's a lot of like bigger agencies and they have like a host of salespeople that go and talk to you and they're really educated. But the thing is, what they're not the most educated on is typically the process,
Yeah.
how things work. I mean, we were able to snab a client because the two other companies that she was talking to, they were using salespeople, which is great. But
Mhm.
when it came down to the nitty gritty of like, how does this work? How is the process? What does it look like in the next 2 weeks? They're like, we then move to the next after you pay. And I understand that. That is a
Yeah.
total like sales funnel. I get that. But we don't operate that way. We want to be transparent and forward up front. So we go through what that process is. And so I don't know if Alan, if you want to step in with like
Well,
kind of
yeah.
what's the said in the process?
Well, we do that first meeting just to see if we're all going to align.
That's true.
Often by the end of the meeting, we've had a great conversation, and we typically what we ask for before we dive right in, and we have made, keep in mind anything we're telling you is because we've learned by trial and error over the years. We usually don't jump right in with a big, you need 20 pages for your law firm website or you need social media content. Well, we don't want to produce all of that right away because we all have to figure out each other's temperature. We have to see if we're all aligned. We always do a few trial pages first. Uh,
Yep.
to get some of the back and forth going. So when you talk to us, we'll typically figure out what you want those trial pages to be, and we'll go ahead and do them within a few days of. We like to just go ahead and get things rolling. We don't want to leave you waiting. We like to go ahead and get it rolling, get those pages back to you, really without a whole lot of like input on our end at first, because we want you to see what we come up with. We want you to go, okay, I love this. That part I maybe don't like so much, and here's what I want to focus on. And it gives us a chance to maybe explain why we do things a certain way. Because, you and I know that a lot of attorneys, you're the exception because you are an attorney, but you started in marketing and then went to law school. But a lot of
Yeah.
attorneys might not know why things are the way they are. There's nothing worse than an attorney coming back in, stripping out all the on page SEO.
Keyword.
It's just, I battled like the only time I've ever been really yelled at, like screamed at by an attorney was that family law attorney out of New York. And she
Ooh.
was just furious with, she's, I'm not a child custody lawyer. There's no such thing. I was like, ma'am, I know that. I know you're a family law attorney, but if you want to rank for these keywords,
Yep. This
listen
is
to
what we
me.
gotta
She
do.
did not
Yeah.
listen to me and she's no longer a client, but you can't win every battle. But we do those trial pages because we all need to make sure we're on the same page. Everything's flowing. And then once you give that okay, now all this has happened in the span of a week. From the first call you contacted us, we hopefully met with you the next day or so. Whenever your calendar was available, we're available.
Yes.
Then we start those trial pages and get them back. And then we start pumping with the orders. We don't even tack that invoice, those trial pages onto the invoice until we start working with you. So when we start working with you, and then our team gets into motion. Now, our team is pretty extensive. We're not just invisible writers. They're not writers we found on Upwork. They're not AI. We have a lot of lawyers on staff. We have paralegals on staff. Victoria and I have handpicked these writers. So when we give them a
Mhm.
page, it's not like we have to do additional training, although we do put them through the training paces when they start with us. The content starts flowing pretty fast. Within a week or two, you have a steady stream of what you need. Some people have more needs than others. Some people only need content every few months. Some people, legal marketing agencies, they need it every week. It's flowing.
Consistently.
And that's how we are doing it on our end. It's coming to us. I personally assign out every page. And there's a reason I do that because I know our writers, I know the topics, and I know who's better positioned for each particular topic. And some of them are really nuanced. And I just know, when you and I'll talk and say, which writer do you think? We do a lot of that. Which writer do you think is best for this page?
It's
And
and it's
very
also part like,
personalized.
it's also part of our white glove service too. Like, this
Yeah.
is, white label, white glove, like, this is what we do. And I kind of want to just add a little caveat. So we have clients who are like, let me see your portfolio. And I feel like the difference between a portfolio and a trial page is that the trial page, you actually get to see in action
Mhm.
our interpretation of the guides that you provide. And I think that's very different than looking at past clients that we've written for because it's a completely different client. And so when people
Yeah.
ask us for a portfolio, we certainly do provide it. We say, yeah, here.
Yeah.
But if you want to get a real understanding of what we do and how it's going to look, let's just do a trial page,
Yeah.
so, and that typically tends to like work a lot better because then you're looking and critiquing a page that actually reflects the client, the firm
Yeah. Your name's on the
versus
paper.
some abstract, attorney that we had written for that we've completely stripped because we don't, we have a lot of NDAs, so we can't provide these particular it's a very
Yeah.
kind of formulaic page that you see, and so I would just, posit that I think
Yeah.
that's how different too, and that's
And
why we push the trial page first.
you mentioned guides. I don't want to scare people off by thinking you have to come to us with this plan and this brand guide. And we will sit with you. Victoria and I will sit with you, and even we'll bring in another one of our team members, and we'll sit and talk about what kind of tone you want, the things that you
Mhm,
want to convey about you, because we want your pages to reflect you and your law firm and your brand to build over time. And we don't want to just give you a generic page, right? Although that
mm,
happens a lot. I mean, it's just how a lot of agencies run. They will give you packages of generic content that's pretty similar to the next firm. And that's unavoidable in some situations, but we like to just develop your voice. We want you to feel like you're reflected in the pages because every attorney, every law firm is different.
mhm,
The best way to stand out is to show how different you are, especially if you niche down to a specific part of the law. You know, you might be personal injury, but you might be really good at truck accident cases or cases against municipalities. You know, these niche things that some people don't do.
mhm,
We want to find out as much as we can about you so we can reflect that in your pages. And we try to get all that done during that trial phase. We're trying to get it done.
yep,
So when we start flowing in the content, we're now 2, maybe 3 weeks into the process with us. Once that all starts flowing, now we're on a steady page, and that's not to say that we're done. We will never be done evolving with a client. Listen, our oldest client
sure,
is, like, 5 years old now, and we spent all of last week reformulating and rebooting
yep,
because we needed to, and that's perfectly fine. You want a company that will continually reevaluate, and because things happen, or if you're
yeah,
unhappy with something you get, we're humans. Again, we're not using AI to do this. We're crafting your pages. All of our humans. That sounds odd. All of
all
our
of your
writers, all of our
this try.
humans, they're writing, each individual piece, and their mistakes will happen. There's no way around that. We're not going to hallucinate like AI, but we're still going to make mistakes, and we fix them, and we continually adjust as we go on. And then
Yeah,
you're done. Like when we're a month in, we're all pretty comfortable with one another. We're at the
mhm,
point where we're really set up and ready to go. And I think, the reason we wanted to do this quick video is just to ease. If you're thinking about working with us and you stumble across this video, the process is as simple as it can be. We make it as low pressure as possible. You get on the phone with us, you're getting this right here. And you're getting,
mhm.
two best friends who grew up together. One became a lawyer, one kept his sanity, and here we are.
It started
So,
with this, yes. But I also think it's important to share kind of this process because we what I have learned in going to different conferences, I mean, this is why I'm an attorney working in this field is, because I get to hear what the next big thing is what's bubbling,
yeah,
And so what I am hearing and what I am seeing in response to this phrase is that we seamlessly work with or we can be paired with your CRMs, right? So, like, if you are using a software that is creating this marketing plan for you, we work with that. We seamlessly, work in conjunction with if you've got a CMO, if you have, if you have Clio or something, right, that's
yeah,
helping you build or helping you with your website. We work with all of them. They know our names.
yeah.
So we are not new to this. We are not trying to sell you on completely leaving whatever it is that you have. We are just wanting to be a part of your team and we do it fairly quickly because we know the importance, of getting things done in a
Well,
timely
time
manner.
is money. Yeah.
It is, and so, yeah, so that's why we wanted to put this out there.
Yep. If you're a legal marketing agency or a law firm and you're looking for someone to help with additional content. We're not asking you to throw out your old writers or anything, but we just come at it from a different perspective. We're really easy to work with. And once people start with us, they really realize it's more of a partnership with the whole team. And we love
Yeah.
that. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. If y'all are hanging around this long, you might as well like and subscribe because
Like and
we're getting
subscribe.
up there. We like our next milestone is 30 subscriptions, and I will love every single one of you. So anybody,
Yay.
y'all have a great afternoon.